morning, hey, or great afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome to Ascension Healing Fellowship. We're super excited that you're here. Got some phenomenal message for you today, and ready to share that. But first, before we enter our time of meditation and just a nice, peaceful, kind of quiet time, I want to ask you just one simple question for you to hold on to. Are you ready for that? Okay, great. Here it is. What happens as we age, and why is that part of the divine plan? Again, what happens when we age, and why is that part of the divine plan? So let us be still and know. Let us be still and know. And today what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and say, you are. Breathe out and say, my rock. You are my rock. If it helps to say, divine is my rock. That's okay. But let's just spend a few moments in this silent thought and this silent time to kind of ruminate on that question and to kind of just be. You know, it's important to realize about this, and the reason why we meditated like this morning is because today we're going to talk about confidence and what our confidence is in. And one of the ways I kind of like to flip this meditation too is just to say, perfect love is my rock. That's my resting place. As I've said before, that's the place that we go as a refuge, as Christ said, and as a refuge, as the Old Testament said. You, O God, O Yahweh, are my refuge. You are my refuge. And so today, I want to read a couple of passages to you. In Hebrews chapter 13, verse 6, so we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? What can man do to me? Perhaps the physical, okay? But that's it. That's it. I want to read a second passage to you, and this comes from Isaiah 30 and verse 15. For thus said the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength. But you were unwilling, and you said, no, we will flee upon horses. Therefore, you shall flee away, and we will ride upon swift steeds. Therefore, your pastures shall be swift, And that was actually verse 15 and 16. Because 15 and 16 have to do with choices that we make to have our confidence in one thing as opposed to the thing. And I think as we go through here, you'll see that. So the question was, what happens as we age? And why is that part of the divine plan? So let's just cover the first part of that question. What happens to us when we age? As we age, what happens? Well, number one, our body just doesn't function as well as it used to, right? I mean, how many of you at one point or another, you've gotten up in the morning and you go, oh, yeah, I'm a little stiff. Did that ever happen when you were 10 or 11 or 12? Did you ever have those moments, right? Well, yeah, maybe after you fell out of the tree or something and broke your arm. But, man, was it really like it is now? Also, one of the things that happens as we age is we begin to lose our cognitive abilities. We begin to lose our abilities, our functions, our ability to function. If you've ever been in a extended care facility, now there's memory care facilities. There's all these different facilities to take care of us in our later years. Why is that? Why is that? And why is this designed as part of the divine plan? Because remember, everything was created from the divine. And without the divine, there was nothing created. So why do we wear out, basically? Why does that happen? Is it possible that that happens because we put our confidence in stuff and things that really don't matter and don't make our life a good time, but instead create an existence? Confidence is a funny thing. It's a very funny thing. Healthy confidence that's healthy, is peace I leave you. See, Christ left us peace, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to take a journey to get there. Because we've set up hurdles in our life, and society, the world, whatever you want to call it, kind of reinforces those ideas, don't they? You got to have money. You got to have freedom. You got to have this. You got to have that. All of that makes you happy. And actually what Christ came to say is the happiness is within. The peace is within. The happiness is within. But you've got to get over those hurdles. You've got to cross those lines and get through these masks and illusions of confidence in money, illusions of confidence in power, prestige. All of that creates false faith. And what the faith or the resting place was and is to the divine is perfect love. The rock is perfect love. That's why it has to be beyond human comprehension. I'll talk about that in a minute. The solid rock to run to, the solid rock is always a confident realization, a confident belief in the idea that you are never out of the divine's presence, embrace, love, and grace. Never. You're never out of that. You're never out of that. Think on that for a moment. This is where you want your confidence at. So let's take a look at unhealthy confidence. Now, first of all, let me start by saying unhealthy confidence is very ego-driven. And God, Jesus, the divine, they knew this. An ego-driven confidence will always, sooner or later, come to an end. It'll come to a close. It won't last. Money doesn't last. You're not going to take it with you. It doesn't happen. And it's also separates between good days and bad days. On good days, you made a lot of money. On good days, you won the election. You got a lot of power. You got a lot of prestige. You had a good time. But what about the bad days? You see, when we believe and our confidence is in what we just talked about, that solid rock of perfect love that never fails, that is the Alpha and Omega, that is, was, and always will be the same yesterday, today, and forever. When our solid rock of confidence is in that, it is unshakable. On bad days, we grow faith, and on good days, we rejoice and we're thankful. And we're thankful on both because we get to grow faith. Yay! Because we had a great day. Yay! It's the same reaction because you understand where the confidence lies, where the confidence is. You get the confidence. Our confidence, therefore, is in the Lord Jesus Christ. Does that make sense? Because you see, the confidence is not, oh, he died on the cross so God would love me. That's the confidence I had as a kid. It was a transactional God that we've talked about before. What we're talking about is a transformational love of realizing how amazingly huge this is. That no one is left out. That's what this is. That's what it is. That's the resting place. Because you see, unhealthy confidence is sight-based. You can see it. Oh, I see that money. I want that money. Now your pursuit becomes the money instead of the love. And that is not a life. That is an existence. That's all it is. It's simply an existence. Faith in Hebrews 11:1, and I know we're flipping back and forth, but in Hebrews 11:1, I love the way this is described. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Remember what I just said about good days and bad days? Let's put this in context. A good day. Wow, yes, all right. That was fantastic. That was really good. That was exciting. I got married. I had a baby, whatever the case may be. On bad days, I've got to have faith that this is part of the plan. My faith is growing. My faith muscle is being exercised right now. I will continue to believe in the perfect love that embraces me in each and every moment. And there are so many moments where that's all you've got. There are a lot of them. And that's when we turn to each other and we say, you know what? I could really use a hug. For you see, we were put here to love. We love God by recognizing what we've just been talking about, where our confidence is at. We love each other by being there for them, by embracing them, by letting them know it's all going to be okay. It's all working out. It's all part of the divine plan. That's it. That's what we do. That's what we do. Faith is resting in the substance of hope. The substance, what does that mean? Well, that simply means that there is a thought, there is a belief of this perfect love. You can't see it. It's beyond human comprehension. It's beyond what we could possibly imagine. All are at the table. Can you imagine a place where all are loved? I can only imagine, as the song says. I can only imagine. Resting in evidence of things not seen. Can I see perfect love in concentration camps? A great book called Night that I've mentioned before certainly did. Eli Wiesel. Why do I always say love beyond human comprehension? Why do I always say that? Here it is. And I want to make sure that we're real clear on this, because this is that faith point. I always say love beyond human comprehension because some, and in fact too many bad things, because some, and in fact many, feel that they've done too many bad things, or they could never be loved. So many people think there's no way I could be loved. No. I'm just too bad. I'm just this. I'm just that. I'm just the other. And they passionately need this message of perfect love beyond human comprehension. They need this message. They need you to go and bring them the good news, the real good news. And that's what this is. That's exactly what this is. Why do I always say the divine? And I want to cover that as well. Because millions, and in fact billions of people have been killed in the name of God. The name of God has been misused, misaligned, abused, and raped for millenniums. And in fact, we talk about multiple gods: the God of money, the God of power, the God of prestige. So again, that name. But when I mention the divine, I'm talking about my solid rock of perfect love beyond human comprehension that will never leave me or forsake me, that is the Alpha, the Omega, is grace upon grace and mercy that never ends. That's where my confidence has to be, because that's the only confidence that's going to last. That's it. That is it. That's it. I can either rest in that, or I can be unrested. I can either rest in that, or I can be restless and go after money and go after power and go after prestige and go after positions and go after all of that crap that so easily entangles us. There was a point where Jesus said, be careful of the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. But you see, the yeast was, well, I've got to work for God's approval. Well, I've got to check the box. I've got to work for this. I've got to work for that. I've got to work for this. I've got to work for that. No, not with perfect love. With perfect love that's beyond human comprehension, you're already there. You're already in the embrace. You're already loved beyond human comprehension. There's nothing more to do except breathe in and rest in it. That's it. That's it. That's the real good news. Spread that news. Share that news this week. Make that your passion. And see lives changed in front of you. Why do our beliefs matter? Because faith in the wrong thing produces an existence, a very painful existence, I might add. Because what happens is, as we have faith in the wrong things, the divine allows those things to crumble in front of us. All so many times. I've seen that happen. Somebody gets a lot of money and they lose it. Somebody gets a lot of power and all of a sudden they're nothing. Think about that. Faith in the wrong thing will, at best, at the very best, will at best just waste your life. That's it. Faith in the wrong thing will, at the very best, waste your life, and at the very worst, it will destroy your life. Case in point, Adolf Hitler. All the power, all the prestige, all the money, all of that. And forever his name will go down in history. Case in point, Stalin. At the very best, At the very best, faith in the wrong thing will waste your life, will waste your existence, will be in existence. At the very best, it will absolutely destroy you. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Faith in the right thing, however, let me stress this, faith in the right thing will absolutely create an amazing journey, an absolutely amazing journey. Difficult, yes. Challenging, yes. Painful at times, yes. And every bit of that pain and every bit of that challenge is simply growing us in faith and the hope that endures. Faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Why? Because faith in the hope produces the love. The point you're trying to get to is the love, and faith in the hope of what I'm talking about here today, that produces love. Because when you realize what we're talking about here today, when you get the confidence in what we're talking about today, the love is a natural derivative. The love is just a natural byproduct. It really, really is, I promise you. And this journey, by the way, if you want the easy road, go fill a church pew. Go check the boxes. Go do whatever you've got to do to feel justified. The difficult road, the hard road, the challenging road is faith in a hope that's not seen, but you believe is perfect love beyond human comprehension for all, and the eternal embrace of all by the Divine One, who will never leave you or forsake you, is the Alpha and the Omega, who is passionate about embracing each and every soul, and who is passionate about you living life and loving life in every moment, because your confidence is in them, the divine, of which you're part of which we're all part of, because we're all one. I hope this blessed you. I hope you'll think on this, and I hope that you will think this week. In fact, just journal. Write one question down. Where is my confidence? If you answer that one question every day, where is my confidence today, this moment? Hello, today, right now. Where's my confidence? Where is my confidence? Think on this. Love you guys, and I'm looking forward to our next time together. Until then, be loving you, be seeing you.